Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk
And Donna Murphy.
with the podcast We Are All Psychic. And if you're watching on Spotify and YouTube, we have Bee Woo, and she is so crazy to meet you again. Aren't you, Bee Woo?
Hi, everybody.
She's so excited. She's waving her hands
And
around.
we're very excited to have you back.
We are excited. We always love when you come, Bee. You've been a favorite of mine forever and ever. Before I knew you, like I think before I even knew I was really a medium, I knew you were out there somewhere. But we have a question for you. Donna has a question for you.
Yes, and so before we launch in, I am going to ask you what we like to ask all of our guests at the beginning of the show, and that is, do you think we're all psychic?
Yes, I still believe that we're all psychic.
Wonderful.
Wow, it's amazing. No, even doubtful moments or anything. Nothing going on.
No, because there's too many things that happen with people I know who aren't, professional psychics or mediums. They just happen,
Exactly.
right? Like, I knew you were going to call her. Oh my God, that's so weird. I was just thinking about you. Things like that.
Gives me an idea. Y'all ever notice when you have new people come into your life as professional psychics that they start having stuff happen to them if they're spending a lot of time with you? Have either of you noticed that? Like if you have a new person in your, like a friend or a dude or coworker or something like that, and they aren't working with their energy. Like I had a neighbor one time and she started seeing angel numbers within 2 weeks of my living next door to her. And we were friends on Facebook, and she kept writing and everyone's like, what's up with you and the numbers? And she's like, I keep seeing them.
Oh, wow. So it's just
really
your
cool.
energy. I think your energy living next door to
I think
you.
it's anyone who's working with the energy. I think if we're living near people or spend certain time with them, it kind of comes out. And I think it just does for everybody. Because I was
kind of an activation. Yeah, kind of an activation.
Yeah, I had a friend named
Yeah.
Roxanne in Phoenix who was like really psychic as fuck. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, I've never known anyone more psychic really than her. And she's not alive anymore, but it's for a tragic death. But she we would just activate each other really weird way. So I won't get into that right now, but it was very strange. We couldn't really be friends. It sucked. Yeah. So listeners and watchers, we are here today not to talk about my old friends. We are here to talk about Bee Woo's ethical mediumship. And she has great points. I've been watching her videos on Instagram as she's been making them. And I've just loved everything you've said in all your videos. And I've done underneath them. The videos are just beautiful, but you write a long, a couple paragraphs about different types of, not types, but different aspects of ethical mediumship. So
yeah,
you want to grab the mic, teach us.
Absolutely. So, every profession or career should be ethical, right? Obviously.
Mhm.
But when you're doing something and your clients tend to be a very vulnerable demographic, right? Because especially with mediumship, even more than psychic, because, sometimes you have people who are still grieving, right?
Yes.
Like if I went to a medium, thank God everybody's okay right now, but we're all going to die sometime, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the people come because somebody's recently died and they're trying to connect. So very vulnerable. Definitely there are con artists out there. So to make up for it, we have to be even more ethical. We have to be really careful because there could be mediums who are just ethical, real mediums, but if they're a little thoughtless, a little not considerate, they could hurt somebody.
I didn't know any better. I needed to learn this kind of stuff before I started doing mediumship readings, honestly. I didn't know whatever came through was what I'd say, but that's not always what you should do. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I have to stop the podcast for just a minute.
Bird? Is there a bird? The manager.
Sorry, listeners and watchers. The manager had to stop the game. Actually, it was Gandalf stopped the game because he hit the button I got that says mouse. And I had to go. He's looking at me like, what? You already did that. So I have these little buttons, listeners and watchers, and the cat has nothing to do with mediumship. Cat taps the button and it goes mouse, and he just hit it for the first time. So I had to throw his mouse.
And Tony,
the manager over here wanting to play with the mouse.
As the manager,
So Miko, our manager, is watching. Oh, she's got to look at you, Bee Woo. Or is that me? I don't know who's she looking at, Donna.
I think both of you.
We have approval.
You. So yes, beautiful. We definitely have approval.
Okay,
we can proceed.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. That was just very exciting for Gandalf and me.
Oh yeah, no, I totally understand. It sounds really cool.
It was.
So yeah, as you were saying, of course you want to be, you want to be truthful, but you can be truthful and gentle. I
Yes.
think you can actually be both.
Yes.
And mindful of the fact that somebody, as you say, B, is in a vulnerable state. And you certainly don't want to make their grieving process any more difficult
Right.
than what they're already going through.
Definitely.
Exactly. Exactly. And there are people out there who take advantage of that. It's so gross, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
anyway,
A lot of
uh
them.
yeah. So there are a bunch of different things. Like in a nutshell, I'll give you a bunch of examples. Okay. So
Okay.
just and we could interrupt me and we could talk about each one, right?
Don't
But
give me that freedom.
of course.
I love interrupting people.
Yeah, yeah. So one is it's unethical to give a reading and just talk about how much the loved one loves the person.
It
Like
doesn't give any real,
exactly.
yeah,
It's not
evidence.
evidential, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay. It's reassuring, but the person uh, as a medium, you need to have some kind of need for your client to receive recognizable, specific details,
Mm-hmm.
usually that only they would know,
Mm-hmm.
something that can't be Googled,
Mm-hmm.
something that there's no way you could know that because that helps them verify it. And if you try to get those, it's not going to happen. You have
Mm-hmm.
to not try to be right, not try to win, not try to be a great medium. You have to really just relax, put your ego to the side, and just connect with spirit with the desire to connect these two beings, one living
Mm-hmm.
and one
Very
not,
much so. Yes.
and just
Mm-hmm.
like let that flow happen and then just try to be open to saying whatever you're receiving that's not from you.
I love that. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I kind of have this approach a little bit like something I like to do is ask the spirit what they do already around the person. Because they're
I
usually
like
doing
that.
something around the person, and that's how I get the
Mm-hmm.
first thing. Like, is
Mhm.
your kitchen sink just always dripping, and you've had plumbers, and like, that's it. And you're going to go home, and it's either going to keep dripping or it's going to stop, one or the other. He's not saying which he's going to do. So that's usually what they do, or the coffee pot leaks, or the rug's always messed up, or there's something in the house
Mm-hmm.
that's always messed up, and it annoys them.
Yeah.
It's usually annoying, and so they know
Mhm.
exactly what I'm talking about, and they're like, "Oh, I hate it when that happens." Well,
Yeah,
trying to get
exactly. It's a
trying to get your
detail.
attention, right? Trying to get the attention. And that's a lot of
Yeah.
times at the end, I'll ask, what are you doing? So what are you showing them? How are you showing up for them? Because they always are.
Yeah.
They always are in some way that I found. And they're never not.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the client might not notice
That's
this
exactly what
even.
happens. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They didn't put the two together usually. They had not.
Right.
'Cause if they
Right.
did, it would stop or it'd be a happy moment. They wouldn't be with me.
Right. All right, good, good. Okay, another one is rely dependability. Okay, you cannot have your clients depending on you like,
Not to
oh my
talk to
God,
them.
when am I
No.
gonna I need to be in contact with him or her again. Can I see you next week? No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. Like 6 months, go to grief counseling if you need
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing,
Yes.
okay? Unethical mediumship is saying you need more sessions or you need protection. Oh my God,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like making them feel scared, like they're in
Yeah.
danger, or like their loved one is stuck and hasn't
You're
crossed
making me
over.
angry.
Right.
Like those mediums suck. Yeah,
No,
no.
it's true though, because if what you're doing is fostering or trying to create dependence,
Mhm.
You're
that
not
to me
healing.
is just that's incredibly unethical because that's the last thing that
No.
person needs.
Oh, hell
Right.
yeah.
That is the
You're right.
last thing they need. And you have to sometimes then be again kind but firm, and like you said, encourage them to go through their grieving process. This is one piece of it, but this can't become the central part, or connecting with their deceased loved one can't become the focus and focal point of their lives.
Right.
Because then they'll actually be stuck in their grief. I feel it stops being a comfort.
You're right. You're right,
And
because
it
they never
becomes
process.
yeah.
Very
it just
good,
becomes a
Donna.
reminder
Yes.
too, a reminder of the pain every single time. You
Yeah.
know? And then
Right.
the bad medium bringing it up just to get money out of them, and how painful moments, bringing up the painful moments.
Yeah.
There are actually really good mediums who do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, they're good at the talent, the skill.
They're
But they do
talented and
bad things with
skilled,
it.
but they're not ethical.
Not
Yes.
ethical.
So it's not
Yeah.
only just people who think they're mediums or just know they're not scamming. There's some really good mediums who will do it on purpose.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay.
Yes, I've met a few of them. Not many, but they have access to the
thankfully.
spirit realm, and they will use it as they will.
Yikes. All right. And also just being able to say, like, I'm not sure, let me, have more time, instead of like going, okay, I have to just keep saying things, and,
Right.
like you have to allow for what you don't know as a medium.
Let them talk.
Right. We're not robots, we're not God, and we're just doing the best that we can, right?
Yeah.
And so that's important for them to see that we're flawed also, Okay, another big thing is health issues, okay? So I have said to clients, something like, I feel like they're talking about, do you have a tooth that hurts in the back on the left? And they might say yes, and I'll say, okay, I'm not sure if it was the spirit. It might have just been me psychically picking that up, right? I might get where I feel like the spirit is telling me something like, get your eyes checked out. But nothing that's going to scare them, but I just want to be preventative, right? What's unethical is predicting, talking about like an illness, or predicting some kind of thing that's going to scare them, or death, or, things like that. It's not any human's business to predict that. I don't know. Some say they can. I don't know if I even believe that. I just don't even go there. I just don't open that up.
I don't either. And it's just natural not to,
I just feel like that's not up to me.
Right.
I feel like I feel like the time that people are born and the time that people die is between them and, if you want to say, God or spirit or their soul contract or whatever. And that's not for me to fiddle with.
Exactly. We have our karma, right? There's certain things that are supposed to happen. Maybe they're destined, or maybe, our free will can change that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last
but I definitely agree with you about not, again, you want to raise the issue and encourage them to follow through, but without fear.
Yes.
Right, exactly. I'm not saying that I'll say I'm not getting anything. I'm not like, for some reason, I'm just getting that message. Just go to the doctor, just get a checkup. That's all. Whatever, because maybe they haven't gone in a while, that kind of thing, right? All right. And then the last thing is how the client is feeling. If they are sensing a feeling of calm and peace and love, and maybe even laughter, or maybe crying, but like through tears of laughter.
Full emotions. Yeah.
Full emotions where they're feeling connected, and, that kind of crying that they're so happy that they're connected with that person again. Like,
it's
that's
big.
one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they have a medium where they're feeling rushed, or not checking in with them, and they're feeling like this isn't resonating with them, but the medium seems to be getting annoyed with them about it, then that's not good either. Now I will say,
it's supposed to be a healing experience.
Yes, I will say there are times I get annoyed with clients, and it's not because they don't resonate with what's coming out. It's when they give me yeses and they resonate with all of it. And then there's like one minor thing I say that I got wrong, right? The spirit didn't get it wrong, but it's like I got one thing. Yeah. And they're like, I don't know if you're with that person. And I feel so let down for the spirit and me because we worked so hard. Like we just gave them
We have
5
good
things.
intentions.
It was all yeah.
When we were all practicing all our lives, really, right?
Yeah. But if it's like not connecting, then you have to just give their money back,
Yeah, I mean, if there's no connection happening at all, for sure, then it's like this just isn't happening, right? And it's fair to say, you know what, here's your money back. I mean, maybe we do it another
I've
time.
done that.
Maybe
That's how I do mediumship. If someone comes through and they're not happy, they get their money back. That's always how I've done mediumship. And Everclear, where we work, doesn't let us,
Well, they won't let us do mediumship.
Yeah, so I do offer it, but not through Everclear. Yeah.
Right.
But the other thing is too, again, if there's all of these things that are resonating, and there's one thing, like you say, that again, the spirit probably was not the issue. They were giving information that I either didn't interpret properly or didn't communicate properly. But again, you look at the whole picture, right? You look at the whole context of the session.
Same with readings.
And when someone latches on that one little thing, sometimes it's just like,
it's not enough. Yeah. Hey. Sometimes for some people, it's just not enough. They have to figure it out themselves. They have to do it themselves, their own way to actually experience mediumship themselves, to believe their spirits, and I think they will want to.
It's a very good point. Sometimes they're not going to believe it no matter what you say, because they have to have that personal experience.
And if any of you listeners and watchers are watching this because you're wondering if you're a medium, or you don't believe in mediumship, or you have doubts or whatever, if it's real, I do want to say, when you're practicing, you hear a lot of people say, say what comes out, say what comes up, say what comes up. Sometimes you do want to rephrase it a little bit, right? Sometimes you don't. So there is a regular listener. I won't mention her name, and she has been at our lives, Donna, and she knows who I am talking about, I think, if she's listening. And she asked me one time if I would speak with a relative, and this relative kept coming through with just smiling with these gorgeous teeth, just beautiful smile, the most beautiful smile I'd ever seen. And I'd read with her about this person before, and I told her this, and she's like, "That's weird." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, it's just weird." And I told her she won't stop doing it. She's just standing in the corner of my room going, their teeth, like, listeners, my teeth are like really big and like smiling and straight, and they're pearly white. And she goes, "Well, maybe she got her teeth fixed." And I looked at Spirit, and she's like, I got my teeth fixed, so it's like that, so I had to work with her. I'm learning at this point. It's probably about 10 years ago or something. I'm still working on learning it. And she was there with me, she went there with me. We figured it out. Because it's like some people, they just be like, whatever, that doesn't make any sense. She didn't have.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it's the opposite, right? It's the opposite.
Yes.
She was smiling like that because she wasn't happy with her teeth. Her teeth weren't great, and now they were.
And so many people, so many spirits come through different than they were in life, is what I found.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I have a great uncle, and he always comes through as a farmer, and he wasn't a farmer.
I love that. That's so funny.
Like the first 5 times, I was like, this is not him, but it was like the right name, the right look, the right personality. And I'd leave the medium group and be like, and then finally one day I realized they're like, and he always wanted to be a farmer. I'm like, oh my God, it is him. It is him.
And he finally got to be a farmer.
Right, exactly.
I love that story. I love that story. It's a great one.
It's wonderful.
Donna, do you have a fun medium story? Do you I know you don't do it much, though, right? Mediumship's not really something to dive into. Unless it happens upon you or something. That's kind of how you...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's spontaneous. Sometimes I've done it if someone has asked. And always with a client, I'll tell them, I'll say, I'll do my best to connect. If I don't, please don't take that as your deceased loved one not wanting to communicate with you.
Yeah.
It may simply mean that they don't want to communicate through me.
That's what I said.
They get to choose. They get to choose, me, maybe. Right? So, yeah. But I'm like, please don't think that that's a reflection on you. Like, my mom doesn't want to talk to me, that kind of thing. It's like that, A
lot of times they don't trust us, especially if we're not experienced and we're not getting everything right. They will come years later and be like, okay, we can talk now.
But I again, I have found that when the connection happens, it really is of benefit to the client. And when that happens, I'm happy. I'm satisfied because I know how hard it is to feel that grief and to feel disconnected. What'll happen a lot of times, though, and Lisa, you had touched on this somewhat, was the idea that that often the person who's in spirit will leave something physical or will do something physical in the home,
in their life,
right?
regularly.
Yeah. So whether it's like you said, the rug is always messed up, or I mean, I know for
the painting's crooked. That's a good one. A lot of crooked, and then the lamp that flickers, the light that flickers in the bathroom, always run on
and
the
coins. For some reason, the people come through for me a lot.
Huge. Me too. My grandfather leaves quarters.
I'll have people tell me. I know with my cousin, she's like, I found coins sitting on the outside windowsill of my house.
Love that.
Or knocking
outside windowsill. And I mean, it's not where somebody could have just like walked by and dropped some change,
right?
So there's something,
right? How to get out there?
There's something funny going on. Maybe not. Maybe it's perfectly normal, and that's why we have this podcast. But I when my grandfather died, I was like, Pop, can you show me some sign? I had a hard time communicating with him, and the first thing he did, I stood up, and there's a quarter under my ass, and that's where he puts them under my butt. I'll just be doing something, and I'll stand up, and there's a quarter under my butt. Like, how'd that get there, Pop? Why'd you put it under my butt again? It's so funny. He always gives me a quarter, though. But he loved coin collecting, and I loved collecting, playing with his coin collection. Yeah. So that's why he especially came through with the coins. I still have some of his, like, I think they're like right around and reaching. I don't have anywhere I can grab. They're over there.
That's nice.
But they're just like old, like 1850 pennies that are like this big, and stuff like that. It's just really cool stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
probably worth a lot of money one day.
I don't know. I've looked them up here and there, and they aren't, but they're a penny, the penny.
It's nice.
I think there was one that was worth about $15, but that was about it. That was about 10 years ago. Might have been changed.
Yeah. A lot of people do it for the pleasure of it.
Yes.
It's not, it's not so much for the, it's not so much for the monetary value. It's the pleasure.
Yeah. My dad collected silver dollars, and he still has, I have one of his. He gave Richard, my brother and I both one. And I have a silver dollar. I do know where that is. I usually keep it next to my bedstand table. So I used to keep it in my purse, but I was afraid I'd spend it as a quarter or something by accident, Yeah,
if you grab it, not thinking. Yeah.
That's a huge one, listeners, though. Coins. If you have someone.
Coins are a big one. Yeah.
Even if you can be dating someone or married to someone, or if your kids have this happen to them, you have to point it out sometimes, right? I had a boyfriend whose father left dimes everywhere. I mean, every dang place I looked, there was a dime. It was all the time. His father's leaving dimes everywhere. And I pointed it out to him. And he's like, yeah, I see him all the time. I was like, do you know it's him? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it's great. It's great magic. It's great magic. And I'd find him in my shoes and stuff, That's the main place he liked to put him, was in my shoes. It's weird, So we kind of branched out from ethical mediumship into some fun stories. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, there was one thing you said, Lisa, that's also an important thing about ethical mediumship. It's about being careful what you actually say, because it could hurt the person, right? So I was really lucky because I did training with a lot of really good teachers. So I learned this stuff before I made any of those kind of mistakes. But like an example one teacher had given us was, let's say the spirit is showing you that toward the end of their life, they became very dirty. They couldn't take care of themselves. So they were defecating. They couldn't go to the bathroom, and their place, they became a hoarders, and it had bugs and mice. Like, you don't want to say that and humiliate the person, because the client, right? Because this is someone that they love, right? So you could just say something like, and toward the end of their life, they're saying that they had difficulty taking care of themselves in basic
rephrasing
ways.
It for what really was happening, because that's really what was happening.
And you're still telling the truth.
Yeah.
You're maybe not giving every, I'll call it, gory detail that might, again, really make them feel hurt, or maybe
some
even
reason that spirit wanted
guilty
to address that, right?
Yeah.
Some reason.
Yeah.
So you have to say something about it. I don't have to, but I would too. I would say find something.
Yeah. there's a way to say it without hurting the client.
Yeah, because it must be something maybe like in that case, like the spirit might be like, I don't want them to think I've always been like that, you know?
Right. Or just
or how
as,
hard it was.
evidence to, help the client connect, right?
True.
But like one of my medium friends had said, leave the clients better than you found them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why they're there for a mediumship reading usually. I've had a few people test me in that they are already mediums, already having the conversations with the spirits. I've had 2 people do that to me. Those are in-person readings. They wanted to see if I was actually a medium.
Yeah.
And
I don't like that.
The spirit, I didn't like it either, but the spirit's like, I talk to them all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, he says he talks to you all the time. Okay, you're in. Why are you testing me? I thought I was helping you, and you talk to this dude all the time. The spirit, what the? It's funny. It's kind of cool though because you get to meet another medium, so it's got a good flip side.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
You
can meet a medium who doesn't test you, right? I can.
Thank you, B.
Right?
Thank you, B. Yeah. That's so true. So I guess like right now, like B, where can people find you? Where can they get your services and like learn from you more about this or more about being a medium or get a reading or anything?
Yeah. Well, my website is newyorkcitymedium.com and I'm on Facebook, NYC Medium, and Instagram and NYC Medium. But right now I'm backlisted with clients, especially because I'm coming out with the book is coming out. So I've been working
tell
very
about the
hard
book.
on that.
Yeah, talk about the book, please.
This is a great book. It's called Interviews with Mediums, and there are 8 of us. I interview 7, and I also interview myself. So I ask the same questions to myself. So you've got 8 different mediums answering questions about their experiences, how they trained, how it happened to them, their ideas of, ethical mediumship, their ideas, what they do with clients, their process for connecting. It's just really fascinating. And I thought it would be a great book for people who are just not mediums, but they're really interested in learning that part of it because you don't really hear that so much. And also I wanted to do a bunch of mediums because some things you'll notice are the same with everybody. And then some things are very different with everybody and also their beliefs,
Yes, that is interesting. I can't wait for this book. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm on the list. There is a place on the website. We'll get that link from you if you want. And you can just click that link and be on the list to be notified when the book comes out. And I'm on that list. I'm on that list. So I want to be on that. It's just like, I haven't read a book in so long. Like I used to read all the time, and I'm ready for that. I'm just like waiting. Hurry up, B.
Okay.
I'll announce it on the show, listeners and watchers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And also this time I'd like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I am an advisor under the name Lisa Rusczyk. My name. What about you, Donna Murphy? What about you, B?
And I am also on Everclear, and I am also under my name, Donna Murphy. And again, there are psychics and readers of all stripes and persuasions on Everclear. However, you cannot get a mediumship reading on Everclear.
We never found out why, but you can.
That happens to be one of the rules of the platform. So we abide by that.
I think they don't want us making up advice from people like spirits, just for our advice, probably. That's probably why they do that.
Yeah. You can find Lisa or myself or any one of a number of other astrologers, readers, psychics, and get some
empaths,
great,
really emotionally connected people. Yeah. They can tell you what he is feeling right now. I mean, they can. Yes. People really can do that. It's really cool. I can do it sometimes, but not like some people, like those empaths that are just like, they are like blah 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 blah. I could when I was younger, but I don't want to. It's like too involved for me. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Cancer ascendant,
it's a choice.
So this is like an intensive thing to go into someone's energy sometimes. Like that.
Well. And it's a choice how you use your gifts, right? Yeah. I mean, you have them, but it's up to you how you choose to use them and where you feel
this is what most comfortable. Kind of like
what's it's like, okay, so what's my lane, right? And that's, I think that's perfectly okay. And I think that's part of being in integrity too.
Yeah. And I do want to say that of all the things I've tried to do I try Donna's favorite word, that psychic stuff, intuitive skills or whatever I practice, mediumship is my favorite. By hands down, mediumship is my favorite. Because if I
Oh,
didn't have Sam
cool.
and Morgana, I would be lost. I'd be lost. I mean, I wouldn't be alive probably without Sam, because he, ever since he came into my life at 24, it's been a ride, but it's been great. He's a great spirit guide, and I love my spirit guides. So that's my favorite part of mediumship is my spirit guides, communicating with them and my relatives. My aunt Lil comes through, and when she was later in life, she was very skinny, always worried about her weight, but she comes through about how she was in her 40s, like a little overweight in her long black draping clothes to look more slender, and she's like, I hated being that skinny. I just felt so bad for us, like brainwashed is what she says. So this is how I really am. She's great.
Oh, cool.
And she comes through as black butterflies. Aunt Lil does a lot. And my grandmother had red hair, and I have never in my life seen a red butterfly. But 2 days after she died, I saw a crimson red butterfly. Not crimson, it was bright red. It wasn't crimson, it was blood red. And they do exist. These red, I've seen 2 of them now. So I saw another one outside this apartment here. There's a lot of butterflies around here.
Wow.
So,
okay, you want to hear something weird?
Yes.
Everything's connected, right? But so on Fridays, I meet with a psychic friend in Ireland every Friday, and we meet and we practice psychic on each other. And today I saw him with a butterfly, and he said, last Friday I took a walk and there were these butterflies, and I was looking at them up close. And now you're talking about all these butterflies.
Uh-oh. There's a butterfly coming for you, B, and it's going to be unusual. I did a podcast about butterfly color and moth color meanings. If that does happen to you, it's pretty fascinating. What all of them. I had a dream after I made that podcast. They had one of a multicolored moth, and you really don't find them. So I had a dream of one that night. So I had to go watch the podcast to figure out what it meant. Listen to it.
Wow.
I couldn't remember, but it was like I did
have
it. I can't remember now. I'll have to watch it again.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's really cool.
I think it was just something like being in touch with the mysteries or something subconsciously, or being with an optimistic attitude, though, as a moth, being shiny, shimmery.
I believe when certain animals come up more than once, there's a meaning, and there's a book with meanings for when you see certain animals more than once. So butterflies is for today.
That's the big one. That's the big butterflies are one I know most people encounter. I had a friend, maybe a couple of years ago, her father passed away, and she was just like really devastated. A couple of days later, this brownish, like orangish butterfly came around in a black outline and landed on her hand, and it came by for like days and days in a row and would come and fly around her house, and it would land on her a lot. So so it came right around like when the seasons changed and stuff. So it was, I don't know, maybe that butterfly might still come around. Who knows?
Oh, so sweet.
Well, lastly, let's ask for some advice. So for some mediums out there who just realized that they are not ethical all the way, maybe they didn't know. So what would you say to them? Not beat themselves up, and how to change it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know all these things, and I didn't know these things inherently, right? It was just hearing teachers bring them up. Good teachers will teach you about
That's what Sam did.
Mediumship.
Sam, my guy, taught me that stuff. Yes, so I did have a teacher.
Yeah. That's right. Sometimes the teachers are incarnate, and sometimes the teachers are not,
Yes. Yeah. It's very true, guys.
So, definitay. Yeah.
I mean, he had to convince me he existed for a long time as a spirit guide. I mean, because I was like, I didn't know idea until I got the word spirit guide. Then I was like, oh. Yeah. But listeners and watchers, we have one last question for you, Biwu. Do you still love our listeners and our watchers?
Of course, I love them. They're so quiet. They just listen. They never talk to me. They never call, but I love them. Of course.
Donna can hear them clairaudiently, precognitively.
Everyone's saying, that actually happened yesterday. Yeah,
yesterday. It was precognitive yesterday in the podcast. Yeah, we haven't published it. I just asked her what the listeners might be saying clairaudiently in the future, basically, and she told us.
Yeah.
They were happy and excited and very engaged.
Yay. Just as we want them
just to like be. We always are. Yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, B.
Thank you for having me on again. So great to see you.
Anytime, you're welcome. Yes. Anytime. You just throw anything at me. Any day. I'm there.
Any day, anytime.
Any day, anytime. Okay. Peace out, listeners.
Wonderful to see you again. Take good care. See you soon. Bye, everybody.
Adios. Bye.